take a goddamn bath. You are more than a little concerned about the trap part of the instructions you just received, but hey, at least a trap you know about is better than one you don't. And with everything else you can see so freaky pristine, he has to be hiding some evil somewhere. You wonder if it's a dungeon. A dungeon could be cool. The ferret bounds down off its pedestal and jerks its head for you to follow it. You do, because it seems like a regular thing to do, and Tagora is busy on his computer. It leads you to a bathroom, which is just as fancy and clean as everything else you've seen. The Lessus chitters at you for a second, squirms its big noodle body around, and leaves, shutting the door behind it. You wait a second till it's probably gone before you test the handle. It's unlocked. Huh. You wonder what the point or, motive might be for leading you to this room until you turn and see yourself in the mirror. That is some haggard-looking stuff right there. So fair. You're flying by the seat of your pants, but you guess maybe you're supposed to take a bath? If not, and he gets pissed and unleashes the ferret on you, at least you'll meet your maker nice and clean. You half expect some indiscernible goo or blood or something to come out of the faucet in the weird lumpy tub, but thankfully it's just water. Once you're in, you take a look at the truly inordinate amount of bath products you have at your fingertips. There are 3 shelves of little bottles and soaps and unidentifiable lathersome accessories by the tub alone. There's even more by the mirror. The labels are all gibberish, of course, but you sniff a few until you find something flowery and go to town. You take more time than you should in there, but you haven't experienced a moment of luxurious solitude in a bit. Full-time friendship searching can be difficult work. It's good to recharge. Once you're freshly scrubbed and dried, you slather yourself head to toe with some lotion you find in an iridescent vial. You hope he won't mind you using it. He wants you to be presentable, and this stuff is sparkly. You're starting to feel rejuvenated as hell, ready to knock this friendship stuff right out of the park. You leave your dirty, torn-up old clothes on the floor, wrap yourself in one of the many satin bathrobes folded on a shelf, and head back out to find Tagora. He's standing in his foyer, waiting with the contract he's typed up for you. When he sees you, his eyebrow ticks up.
I see you went with the Rainbow Drinker Serum, full body application. Bold choice. I mean, it's an incredibly rare and expensive product, and I do expect to be remunerated, but I won't lie, it works.
Yeah, sure, that stuff. You don't want to let on that you don't know what it is, since he seems impressed. Instead, you give his ego a little stroke and tell him you hadn't seen such a sumptuous array of self-care accoutrements in so long that you couldn't help yourself.
Not everyone takes skincare as seriously as they should. I assumed you were taking forever in there because you'd gotten lost, or didn't know how to use the ablution trap. I hadn't considered the possibility that you were just doing your regimen. Noted.
You hold your arms out to admire the well-hydrated sheen you have going on. This time, you're not even really bullshitting. It just does actually look pretty good. Tagora seems like he's struggling. He keeps opening his mouth to say something, then changing his mind. He's clutching the documents in his hands like a flotation device. He looks down at them, then back at you.
I typically only use that particular product to highlight my cheek blades, but there's no real reason you shouldn't apply it more liberally, especially if cost isn't an issue. It's a little drastic for my personal style, but there is a certain unorthodox glamour to it.
The next bit looks like it hurts him a bit to get out.
Would you like to step outside to see the full effect?
You bet your ass you would! You're curious about what he means by effect, and this seems like more fun than signing stuff. He places the documents down on his desk like they're made of glass, not paper. He looks up at his Lessus, who just sort of tilts its head to the side. You look away and give them privacy to do whatever eyeball communication is going on. After a bit, Tagora clears his throat and heads towards the door. You don't comment on the bluish flush in his cheeks. For all the shift in his demeanor, he still seems like he might kick you out on your ass if you try to get too feelingsy with him. You start to glow as soon as you step back out into his dark front yard. Not in a light bulb kind of way, but a subtle, ethereal luminescence. What is this stuff?
Now that is a look. I mean, there's still the unfortunate issue of your homelessness and overall aberrance, and the fact that you're still wearing my ablution robe. But it's cutting edge, I'll give you that. You look almost like a real one.
You don't know what that means, but you want to roll around eternally in the praise part. You ask if the look will help your case.
Your case, of course.
He bites his lip and looks back through the window at the papers sitting on the desk where he left them. You hope he still wants to represent you, or at least that he'd want to hang out even if he wasn't going to. You don't get a chance to prod though, because right then someone rounds the corner on the sidewalk in front of his hive. Tagora's face immediately shudders into its usual simpering mask. There's an edge of panic around his eye though. Wow, Gorchek, what have we here? It's a blue-themed troll, which if you remember right means he's a fancier guy than Tagora. He's grinning like Troll Christmas came early. You can feel Tagora vibrating out of his skin next to you. Who even is this guy? When he gets close enough to get a good look at you, he jumps and screeches, "What the balls boiling fuck?" Tagora is frozen, the corner of his mouth pulled back to show his teeth. The new guy is ignoring him in favor of noticing that you're dressed in Tagora's monogrammed leisure wear, if his look of fascinated horror is anything to go by. You don't really know what makes you do it. You should wait for Tagora to get himself together and do the talking, but you're riding the high of him, almost seeming like he was enjoying your company. Plus, nothing boosts confidence like looking like a beautiful, spooky angel. So you toss your head, put on your best fancy guy voice and say, "What? Never seen a real one before?" You're placing all your chips in this guy knowing something you don't, but when his eyes get huge and he starts stumbling over himself to back away down the sidewalk, you know it's paid off. Tagora blinks, then jumps right in, picking up directly where you left off.
Surely someone as well-informed as yourself knows a rainbow drinker when he sees one.
The blue guy doesn't respond with anything more coherent than a string of yelps as he hightails it back the way he came. When he's gone, you turn to Tagora and ask him super casually what a rainbow drinker is. He stares at you in stunned silence.
Are you telling me you didn't know?
You nod.
And that you ran with it anyway, exploiting the fear you picked up on to turn the tide of a delicate encounter to your favor?
You shrug. You guess so. You tell Tagora you hope his friend wasn't too freaked out.
Friend? No, I hate that guy. There are simply times when being liked by your betters is helpful. Though technically, fearing me is just as good. Better, maybe. So, you know. Thank you.
Tagora's laugh is soft. It's not a sound you expected to hear. He's happy because of something you did. You can't help it. You start laughing too.
That was a bit of a rush, wasn't it? It was almost fun. I certainly didn't see it coming anyway. I underestimated you.
He gives you an appraising look, then takes a deep breath. You're so nervous all of a sudden. You feel unbalanced on the precipice of what he might be about to say.
From one prevaricator to another, I will let you in on something. I haven't actually encountered an alien before.
Oh, sweet relief. You tell him his act was airtight, and as long as everyone's doing the truth thing, you admit you lied a bit too. You aren't actually rich.
Yes, that's clear now. You have the invaluable ability to fake it, though. That's potentially much better. Why don't we put your case on hold for the time being? You wouldn't have enjoyed the outcome of our legal system anyway. We can find an alternate means of you working off your debt. I think we may make a better team than I previously anticipated. With our wits combined, we can tackle bigger and better things than traffic injuries.
He flexes his hand at his side, then in one swift and decisive movement, he extends it out to you. On his face is something close to an honest-to-God, real-ass smile.
I've never actually formed a legitimate partnership of any sort before, but I believe this is how it's done. What do you say?
The glow in your heart shines brighter than any expensive and still kind of mysterious lotion. You take his hand in your firm, no-nonsense grasp of pure, inexorable joy and shake it.